Hello everyone, welcome back. Hope you are all well. In this video we are going to show you a couple of reasons why the power button on your Xbox One S might no longer click when you push it. So a couple of reasons for this are behind the front, the top panel here of the Xbox. There is a power board which runs all the way along, and it's got a button on there for your eject, it's got a button for the bind, and it's got a button for the power. That can snap off, or it can actually be the casing itself which is not correctly installed. So let's open up this Xbox One S and then we'll go through and show you exactly what we mean and how to fix it. Right, so opening up the Xbox One S, if you flip it around, we start in this corner here. We grab ourselves a pry tool, and then what we do, pop the pry tool just underneath here where the warranty label is, and just slowly start to move it up. And what you'll do, you'll feel it pop over. There's a little lug on the casing which is stopping that, and you just literally pop it over there, and then move your pry tool around and just start popping the black bottom case off, move along like so, and go all the way along. And the thing to do is when you're taking the case off, you push the pry tool in and then lever it off. The bottom black plastic comes off quite easily. So you move all the way around, you hear it popping like so. Spin the Xbox around, carry on going around the sides, and then you get to the front, and then you can just pop the front off as well, like so, and then off it will pop. Lay it down upside down, and then there are 6 green screws which you need to remove, and you need a T8 bit for that. So that's Torx. Literally undo all 6 green screws. Like so. Now once you have all 6 green screws out, turn the Xbox around again. And then we do from the rear of the Xbox, if you just pull the sides outwards like this, give it a bit of a wiggle, and then the casing, top casing will come off like so. Now, as I mentioned, on the front of the Xbox, you've got this, the power board, which runs from a connector here all the way around, and there are 4 black screws which are holding it on. Now, in this particular example, the little button here, this little micro switch, it's actually broken off, and that's the power button. Down here is the bind button, a tiny little micro switch. I don't know if you can see that on camera, but it's literally just there. Micro switch, and then over this side there's one for the eject button, tiny little micro switch. Now as you can see, the one for the power here is actually snapped off, so that is why we need to replace this power board. So really simple, 4 black screws, off they pop. Again, Torx 8 screwdriver bit, take all 4 out like so. And then the board is nice and loose. Now there's a connector here which connects to the motherboard. What you do, just pop your finger underneath there, or a little flat blade screwdriver, give it a wiggle, and then the whole thing pops off like so. Now these can be purchased from eBay or Amazon, and they're around about $15 to $20, or £10 in the UK. So not expensive at all. So grab yourself your replacements. Now as you can see on this one, the button is actually there for the power, so that's working, and installation is simply the reversal. So just wiggle the connector in, give it a push down, you'll feel it slot in, and then put in your 4 black screws again. Like so. All our buttons are now clicking again. Now what we can do is put the case back on. But before I do that, I want to show you the second reason why sometimes the power button, and this is sometimes the eject button as well, doesn't click on the Xbox One S. Now, the power board itself isn't broken, But what you'll notice is when some people put the top case back on, they don't align it correctly with the little lugs that it needs to be aligned with. So if you see here on the optical drive, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 little plastic lugs, and then just below it here, there's actually a metal one as well. Right, so just turn the camera a little bit. There's a metal one there as well, right? Now, if you look in the actual internals of the case, let me try and get a bit of light on there for you. You'll see there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 little holes, and then just below those 5 holes, there's almost like a square hole as well. Now they have got to line up to the 5 lugs and the little metal bit that sticks out on the actual chassis. Right? If you don't line them up correctly, then what will happen is the case itself very gently bows, right? So if this one, for example, isn't seated correctly in its hole, the case bows very gently, but just enough for the actual button which sits in the case, just here, it bows just enough so it doesn't push the actual micro switch in, right? So as you can see, the underside of the actual case, the power button, is only just a little bit of plastic which is pushing the micro switch. So as I say, if the case is bowing, then when you push the plastic switch on the front, it doesn't actually make contact with the eject and the power buttons. That's something to look out for as well. Now, the easiest way I find to put the Xbox cases back on is turn it up on its face. Start this way, right? So I'm actually lipping the front over, okay? And I'm lining up the holes. You can feel it's fitting, right? So you kind of wiggle it in like so. You can kind of feel it sit nicely. Then flip over and then line all of the back up as well, right? So just bend the side back parts over like so. Give it a bit of a wiggle. And then make sure everything's lining up like so. Now, if that fits in nicely, what you can do is just make sure the buttons click before you do all the screws up, okay? And that's because all of those 5 lugs and 5 holes are lined up, and the little metal tab as well is lined up correctly, okay? As I say, when you're putting it back together again, if you kind of feel this back edge here is quite difficult to pop in, 9 times out of 10, it's because of these 5 lugs along here which is not lined up correctly. Right, so then all left to do is get our 6 green screws, pop them back in again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then tighten them up. Like so. Now, don't go mental tightening those up. Just tighten them just so they're, you know, they're gripping until to a point where they stop turning. But whatever you do, you know, don't give loads of force because you'll snap the actual screw hole off of the white casing. Then that's all left to do is pop on our bottom case. Now that just sits in on top. Obviously you've got the USB connector at the front, and then to the rear you've got where the warranty sticker goes. What I normally do is just make sure the warranty sticker part is kind of just fed through, and then just give everything a squeeze, and then it all lines up like so. Squeeze it all the way around, and then the USB is lined up. So then check your bind button that's working, check your power button, and check your eject button, make sure they're all clicking. And that is it. Just a real quick, simple video, just showing you 2 most common reasons why the power button sometimes doesn't click and feels spongy, whatever way you want to describe it. But they're the most common reasons why. So hope that video was useful. Please consider subscribing to the channel. It really does help us out. And also give us a thumbs up if you liked the video and if it helped you. We'll be posting more and more videos coming soon. We're actually going to be posting a teardown video of the Xbox Series S and Xbox Series X in November. So as soon as we get our hands on that, we can actually tear them both down. So subscribe to the channel to be able to watch that one. As I say, really appreciate your view. It really helps us out if you give us a thumbs up. So please do, and subscribe to the channel. Take care of yourselves. Thanks for watching. Bye bye for now.